Look at that. Think, bud.
I'm so stoked on that. I'm just really glad we've been able to find her and recover her.
Gonna do a crash course in how to skin a deer. This is a nice young deer, so it ought to skin easy. I hung this paint tarp up because all my work stuff is stacked behind it. It looks terrible. So we're gonna try to do this. First thing I do is just take your knife right above the hock up in here. You just go around it like that. And then you take the knife on the inside of that bone and you just go right straight down through, just under the skin. You're not cutting meat, obviously. Until you go down through where you gut it. Then you just take the knife and you skin it back away from this tendon right here is what we're going to use to hang by. And I'll show you what I mean in a minute. So. Get it loose enough. You see where I just put that right there. You just take a knife, or they take the saw, and you just want to etch the bone, and then the leg will bust right off. So that leg's gone. And then you take your gramble, your whatever it is, a gramble, and you hook it in like that. Then you do the same thing on the other side. Now, luckily, I got these old boat winches that I rigged up for for hoist. They work perfect. But in the old days, it was basically a rope up over top of a tree limb, and that's how we used to do it. And then I got a barn and filled it with junk, so now at least I have a roof over my head. So you do the same thing on this side. And just skin right along the bone, just trying to open up that hole through that rear tendon. You get it loose, pull it down. Okay, there's the other one. We'll hook that right in there on the other side. And then, as brutal as this looks, just score the bone off, and then the bone will snap right off. And this is where a lot of this, I like to keep a knife with me, but a lot of this you'll pull off. But you got to be careful when you pull off, because what will happen sometimes, you'll start pulling the meat, and the meat will come loose. You see that hind quarter right there's down? You do the same thing there. So do the same thing the other side. And you see right here the meat starting to pull loose. You just take your knife and you cut right along the skin to keep that there. You pull down. You grab the tail and you just take and you cut right through where that tail's at, and you pull that down just like that. Get a little more height, and this should pull down clear down to the front shoulders. Really close to the front shoulders. Pretty easy. Ooh, somebody shot that one right there. So there you go there. And this is a warm deer, so that's good. They skin a lot easier when they're warm. So pretty much what I do, you don't want to do this if you're going to mount the deer, of course. But you just got to cut that hide in the brisket. And don't cut it up through, because that'll leave hair all over that meat. You just try to get this right here, and you cut that brisket down through right to as close as you can to the chin. And I'll show you why that's the case here in a minute. Because next, you see how easy the hide pulled off that, how easy that pulled off that carcass. It didn't cut off, it didn't pull off the neck all that good. So then you get a little higher. If you can get your hand through under the leg, the armpit, or whatever you want to call it, you can usually pull this skin down on these legs pretty good. This one here happened to be shot with a 270, I think. And pull that down. And what you can do is you can take your knife and you can loosen around here with your knife, but you can do it with your fingers too. So, and you pull that down, exposing that leg. This leg's a little bit shot up more, so you still can do the same thing here. You can take it and just slit that down, and that'll allow that to pull off a lot easier. Do that to both sides. See all that hair? If you cut up into it, you just threw that hair all over the carcass. This way we're pushing it down away from it. And then once that's cut, they usually pull down a little bit easier. And there's not a lot of meat when you get down that far anyways. So I usually just pull it down to the knuckle, to the elbow knuckle there. And you can see I'm almost there on this side. Right there. And then I just take my knife and I go right around the knee with that, right where the cartilage is at. And then normally you can snap them off like that and just finish cutting it. And you do the same thing over here. You just got to find where it bends. Same thing. Well, maybe not. Didn't cut it deep enough. So then you just get rid of that. And a lot of times right here it doesn't peel all that easy. You can see some of the meat coming off with it. If you want to prevent that, you just take the knife and skin right along the hide in the meat, and that'll keep the meat on. So I'm just going to pull a little bit harder. Right there. And that's it. You're right to the bottom of the head. Just take your knife and cut through clear to the bone. And then you go around it. And now you get the head. This is better when you have someone help you. If you have someone hold it still, you can take this, once you're going down to the neck bone, then what you can do, you can just take the head and just twist it off just like that. And it's all skinned out. But what I will do is when we gutted this out, we cut it quite a ways down. I like to take my knife and cut all the way down through and expose that windpipe. And then you can hook your finger on that windpipe and take it right out, because there's a lot of bacteria around that. So, and you can go along and you can trim all this up. You can leave it hang here, let it drip out. And here's the thing that people get freaked out about. It's a little bit warm today. It's in the low 40s, but it's going to cool off. We can hang these deer for up to a week. And people freak out, but everybody asks me, how come your venison tastes so good? It's because we age it. We age it at least a week. I don't know if you can see them on the camera, because Levi, I don't want to get all the rest of my junk in here. We've got 2 other deer hanging here. And this one will be ready in a couple days. And then that will be a couple days after it. And this is a younger deer, so we'll probably only leave it for probably 4 days instead of 7. But that's it. It's pretty easy. And I know there's a new meat processor in our area. He's advertising $60 a deer to cut and wrap it. But then he's charging you a $10 skinning fee on top of that. So, all right, man. Until next time. Next time we do this, maybe it'll be a big buck. We got 2 flintlock tags left and 2 buck tags to go with them. So, until next time.